It's got to be real.
Be real. Be real. Yes, guys, so let's talk about the special one, Kell Brook. There seems to be, man, he's pulled out the Diego Chavez fight, first of all. And you see people, like, say I hate on Kell Brook. But, man, listen, if any fighter, including Amir Khan, including my favourite fighter, Canelo, if any fighter did what Kell Brook did, what do you think I would say? Do you think I would sit here and just allow it and I won't say anything? I will say it. I don't hate Kell Brook, but he gives a lot of... He does a lot of things which I've got to comment on because, like, if I'm going to talk about boxing, I have to be fair about it. And the truth is, Kell Brook just does these... Like, I have to comment on it. I have to. Look, he might be British and he might be from Sheffield. And I've always liked Kell. You know, I've not had no issue with him. Or I've got no reason to have an issue with him. But the truth is, Kell Brook has pulled out this Diego Chavez fight over what? Over him not being able to make weight? That's something I've heard. Over pay-per-view, wanting to be on, you know, pay-per-view. Something I've heard. So what does that mean? That means that he's not in this for boxing. He's in this for money. Every fighter's in it for money, but if you're not there to make a legacy, I'm not interested. I'm not really too interested in your career. I'm not interested in people who fight just for the money. Mayweather didn't fight just for the money. Mayweather fought for legacy. Okay? And most fighters fight for legacy. They want to face the best. They want to be the best. Kell Brook, I feel, is looking for one big payday, trying to rack out as much money as possible before he takes a loss because his stock will plummet. He doesn't have a stable fan base. He's not really beaten, you know, a list of opponents, and he's not willing to take that hard road up, you know. His arch rival is Amir Khan, obviously, right? I know everybody's going to comment, so I might as well talk about it. At least Amir Khan, in the early days, he didn't take an easy option. He took Marcus Maidana. Was that not a really difficult fight alone? That one fight alone, was that not really, really hard for him? You know, he faced Paulie Malignaggi, and Paulie Malignaggi wasn't really finished. He was a good fighter back then. He picked up Judah. He picked, you know, Khan's faced Collazo, Alexander. They're not the best fighters, but he's fought some good, solid fighters, and back-to-back. I mean, Kell Brook's faced Sean Porter and called it a day. I mean, if you look at it, that's what he's done. He's fought Sean Porter and called it a day. Diego Chavez, let's be honest about it, is a really good fighter, but he's taken losses. He's not elite pinnacle. He's not an elite pinnacle fighter. Khan's talking Danny Garcia. I mean, Khan's faced Garcia and Peterson. You see what I'm saying? So, you can't critique Khan's career because although Sean Porter's probably better than everyone on his record, I say this again and again, it's really dead annoying that you just keep referring to the Sean Porter fight and refuse to acknowledge the rest of Kell Brook's career. You know, he's faced fighters with so many losses, and I've got to talk about it. Now, the thing is this, right? Kell Brook's a badass fighter, no doubt about it, right? No doubt about it. He's a talent, he's a real talent, and he's really good. But I mean, he's pulled out Diego Chavez fight now. He's done this before where he's pulled out against Alexander, what, twice? Okay, so it's getting annoying now. I mean, it took him so long to face the likes of Sean Porter, so long. I mean, up until then, he was fighting nobodies, and he was just talking about mandatory, and I need to fight, I'm becoming the mandatory, I need to fight for the IBF belt. He ducked Timothy Bradley. He ducked a couple of fighters, you know, back in the early days because he was going the IBF route and this and that. And I mean, the thing is, how many excuses are you going to make for Kell Brook? You know, yeah, it's okay to make an excuse from here. It's okay to make an excuse from there. But, I mean, how many excuses can you make for Kell? I mean, okay, 1 occasion, 2 occasions, 3 occasions. But, I mean, we're talking like 6, 7 things he's done in boxing, which I'm thinking, like, he's ducking elite-level opposition. Can you not see it? Like, yeah, he fought Sean Porter, and he will probably fight some good fighters in the future. He will. But, I mean, he's clearly trying to postpone. He's clearly trying to make a lot of money as quickly as possible. And I don't know if he wants to get out of the spot, but I think he wants to stabilise himself financially. And he's not willing to take any risks. He's not willing to put... Because, you know, that shows to me that you don't have self-belief. What is it? I mean, I don't really understand. I mean, when he beat Sean Porter, he didn't convincingly annihilate Sean Porter. He held a lot. And, honest to God, I've spoken to people. I don't feel this way, but I've spoken to people. And a lot of people have said that they felt Kell Brook lost the fight. Some people felt it was a draw. Majority felt he won. I felt he won that fight, and I give him that. You know, he went to the guy's backyard and won. But I mean, if that's what you're basing into Kell Brook's entire career on, is one fight, and that one fight he didn't win very convincingly, and there are some people who felt he lost. Like, I don't know, like, what to say about Kell Brook. I mean, the only thing you can say is that Sean Porter was a badass fighter when Kell Brook faced him. And I'm not hating on Kell, honest to God, I'm not hating on Kell. It's just how it is. This is just how it is, and I've got to call it like it is. When Amir Khan faced Chris Algieri, what did I come up here and say? I said that's a dead fight. It's a crap fight, and Chris Algieri brought it. But on paper, when you looked at it before, it wasn't a good fight for Amir Khan. As far as Kell Brook goes, he's calling out Timothy Bradley. He's calling out Canelo Alvarez at 154, I've heard. Bad fights, man. You're talking about moving up to 154? What's up to 147? You can't make it anymore? I'm sorry, but nah, man. Like, at 154, Kell Brook, good fighter. But when he goes up against Canelo, you're going to see the annihilation of Kell Brook. I'll tell you now, he can't beat Canelo Alvarez. Trust me on that. He cannot beat Canelo. He cannot beat Canelo. Canelo is the guy at 154, and he will go and face Canelo. That's the fight he'll face at 154 if he moves up to 154. Because there's talks of this that Kell Brook's talking about moving up to 154. So what's happened to the Amir Khan fight now? If Kell Brook moves up to 154, how can he make 147? I don't know. The thing is with Kell Brook's career, it's all over the place. Jojo Dans, Gavin Reese. Is it Gavin Reese? Yeah, Frankie Gavin, sorry. Gavin Reese, whatever. Yeah, Frankie Gavin. There was talks of Leonard Bundu. I mean, the Diego Chavez fight was a good fight, but I mean, Kell Brook's knocking on. He's been in the game longer than Amir Khan. How long is he going to be in boxing? I don't know, not too long. I don't think he's got too long left in boxing. You know, he's not got, like, the twilight of his career to come. He's in his peak right now, and he's wasting his peak. He might fight for maybe a few more years, but I don't see him dominating the sport of boxing and taking over in the future because he's knocking on. He needs to get a move on with his career, and I mean, these postponing and these ducking and this and there's that, and they're not fighting. I don't know, there's 1,000 things with Kell Brook, and I'm just not happy with his career. I'm not. I mean, my brother is a huge Kell Brook fan, right? My brother loves Kell Brook. My boy Arthur, he loves Kell Brook. But the thing is, even they're saying now, I mean, this is getting ridiculous. It's just getting beyond ridiculous. I mean, how long do we have to wait to see a Kell Brook in a good competitive matchup? I'm not talking Brandon Rios. Rios, you know, Rios, my boy. I speak to Rios. I keep in contact with him. But Brandon Rios is not that guy. When's he gonna face Thurman? When's he gonna face Maidana? When is he gonna face? I mean, Khan. I mean, Khan's. It's not his fault, but you know what I mean. When's he gonna face elite level opposition apart from Sean Porter? I mean, that's the only name on his record. And he just, the only reason he took that fight was because of the IBF belt to become a world champion, and he had to take a risk, and he took it. Good fighter, Kell Brook, brilliant fighter, but I just don't understand this what he's doing. I just don't get it. I understand the whole thing about pay-per-view, and people are gonna say, "Oh, he came out," but I mean, is this the first time this has happened? Is this the first time that this has happened, or is it like the 6th time that something like this has happened in a similar situation? I mean, how many times? How many times? Kell Brook, you're a great fighter, brilliant fighter, and I rate you. You have the capability to beat so many fighters at 147 pounds, so many. Kell Brook's not a bum. He's not going to be tossed away to the side. Anyone he fights, either he beats them or he puts up a great matchup, and will make it a close fight. Kell Brook's elite, more than elite. He's brilliant, excellent, but he needs to fight. I've seen the skill of Kell Brook now. I've seen it in action. I've seen it in shadow boxing. I've seen it in the ring against several opponents, even the elite level Sean Porter, and he showed that he's capable. But he's got to fight great fighters and brilliant fighters. I mean, why even take on the Diego Chavez fight? Diego Chavez lost to Thurman. Diego Chavez lost to Rios. Diego Chavez is a brilliant fighter, but why? Just why? I don't get it. Please leave a comment section below. Make sure you subscribe. What's happening with Kell Brook? What is going on with Kell Brook? He was meant to be this. I mean, he should be fighting 3 times a year right now. If he wants to build his name, he should be fighting 3 times a year. Not against Frankie Gavin and Jojo Dan. He should be fighting 3 times a year against great fighters. He's fought twice this year. He was supposed to have a 3rd fight, a good fight. Nah, he's supposed to be having mega fights. 2 mega fights, 1 bum fight. That's the way you got to swing it, and he's not doing that. Comment section below, subscribe as always. In a bit, guys.